What we're going to do now is we're going to bring our athletes out and we're going to work on the actual winding of the hammer and the actual throwing. The way we do the systematic progression here at Ashland, the way that I found most successful, is that what we like to do is work a progression. First we bring the athletes out, we teach them what a heel toe is, which is the actual turning movement of the feet. We get them to learn to wind the hammer and to actually release the hammer out of their hands to get what that feels like. And then we'll stop, we'll go back inside or stay outside, but we'll do drills. And we'll have some drills coming up, and that's where most of the teaching of the footwork and some of my coaching philosophies and theories that have helped me become a 3-time Olympian in the hammer throw. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Jake in, and what we're going to do is just basically go over the simple footwork. I'm going to give him the broom, and I'm just going to have him face me. And what we're going to do is we're going to just have him turn 2 feet to 90 degrees, okay? And this is the starting heel toe position of the first turn. And this is assuming that the athlete is starting on the heel as opposed to a toe turn, which we'll explain a little bit later. So here is our 90-degree position. As Jake steps across the foot, the ball rises up a little bit and the foot is coming in. He's attempting to see 180 degrees. The foot is coming down at 270. As he turns, then he's coming back to 0. Okay? Now, we need to get that hammer started. And to do that, we need to wind the ball. So we're going to bring John in first with one of the hammers. What I'm going to get him to do is just start with his feet facing straight ahead to the front. And what I want him to do is I want him to start with the hammer in the left hand, and we're going to create a little pendulum action. And that's just a little swinging action. He's going to bring the hammer from back there, and here's the little pendulum action right here. That's how we put energy into the hammer in the start. So he's just going to do that one time. He's going to swing the pendulum up, and then he's going to swing the pendulum back. And then we're going to have him start winding the hammer on the right side. Do a series of winds. There's his pendulum, and then he's just going to wind, nice and relaxed. Notice how the hands go behind the ear. They don't come way over here to the left in the first wind. Now, if we want to get a little bit bigger pendulum action, what we'll do is we'll ask him to move his right foot back. This is a start that I use, Lance uses, John uses, and it's a little bit more of a dynamic pendulum start. So the ball's going to start to come up, and it's a little bigger pendulum on the right hand side. And we're just doing multiple winds here. Good. All right, now Jake, come in, same ball. Now we're going to turn Jake around the other way. Okay, we're going to actually have him wind so you can get a little bit better feet to the front, that he would be throwing in that direction. Obviously, he's not going to let it go. He's just going to do the winds. He's going to take it a little pendulum action up, pendulum action back, and he's just going to wind on the right side. Notice that we're not letting the hands come across the face. Notice that the hips are just staying underneath him. Okay, good. Now let's go to the step. Cast the ball up, and he's making a little bit bigger pendulum wind on the right hand side. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to bring John back in, and we're going to put the second wind in. Most throwers, collegiate, high school, world-class throwers, do 2 winds and then they start their turns, whether they decide to start on a toe and do 4 turns, or whether they decide to start on a heel and classically do 3 turns. Now, sooner or later it's going to come up, what is a better technique, 3 or 4 turns? The world record is held by Yuri Sedik of the former Soviet Union, 286 feet off of 3 turns. So you would assume that this is obviously the best technique. The problem is, last year the top 10 throwers in the world were all 4-turners. So the majority of the people are doing 4 turns. The world record was set off of 3. So it's whatever suits the athlete best. Okay? So John's going to wind again, and this time what I'm going to ask him to do is I'm going to ask him to wind with the feet to the front. Wind on the right side as if this were the first wind. And he's going to do 5 of them, and then he's going to switch to the second wind, which gets a little bit more to the left. Now he's letting this ball come out here because, again, we want a long ball on the left side. Want a long ball. Okay? Good. Now we can do that same thing with the step, and the way that works is John's going to wind the ball. We'll go 3 and 3 this time. 3 winds on the right. And on the third one, he steps up and he lets the ball run left. His weight centered in the middle. Okay, now we're going to bring Jake in. We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to have him facing you so you get a little bit better idea. We'll start with 3 winds from the feet to the front. Again, on the right side of the body. And then he's going to let that ball run left, square his chest up. And now he's ready to enter into his first turn. We can do that same thing off the step wind. Cast the ball up. 3 winds on the right. Step. And then 3 winds on the left. As you can see that the ball's starting to run left and he's ready to go into his first turn. Okay, so that's the one thing that we need to do. We need to bring the athletes out. We need to teach them how to wind the ball and understand that on the first wind that we're trying to get the right side involved, that it's a push event. The second wind, we try to let it run a little bit more to the left so that when we start our entry, that ball is working and running into the left. Now, what we like to do before we take them inside and teach them the drills inside, we like to get them the feel of actually releasing the hammer.